All right, here we go. Welcome to Take Two Tuesday for Tuesday. What is the date? March 16th or March 16th, March 26th. I lost 10 days there somehow. So we are getting towards the end of March here. I want to welcome you all to Take Two Tuesday. If you are new here, let me pull up our chats and see who's with us. I see over on Facebook, Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. Nice to hear from you. Let's see if I can fix that. I think I can right there. Great. And I see, let's see, Terry's here. Frank and Sharon. I wonder if both of you are here when I see Frank and Sharon. I never know. Let's see, Linda W's here. Kimberly, Diane, Shelby, Amanda, Rhoda. Hi, everyone. I hope that everybody's having a fantastic day. We're off to a pretty good start here. Everything came together at the last couple seconds. I got a couple surprises, but everything seems to be working, and that's good. Make sure I get my mics all checked and my cameras all ready to go. We're going to have a fun time today here on Take Two Tuesday. We go back in the past here at the Stamps of Life, and we take a look at some stamps and dies that perhaps you already have in your stash, or maybe if you are a newer customer to the Stamps of Life, they are new items for you. So we'll take a look at those, and I'm going to do something extra fun. I'll give you a sneak peek here. I'm not going to try to take credit for this card. I did not make this card or this little decoration, but this is fantastic. It is our rubber duck mixed with our balloons. Give me 1 second here. And, something's flashing over there. I'm going to show you how to make the box card today with a folded die. So we'll do that. And already I have learned, I worked ahead of time on a box card. And I did do my own. What's flashing over there? Oh, my light's flashing. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see what's going on with this thing here. Let's try that. One of my lights has a motion sensor detection, and I think it's detecting motion and flashing off and on. We don't want that to happen. Well, I went ahead and I was practicing. I used the large die for the box it. And a quick tip for you right off the bat is I did make the box. Everything turned out great, and I had the card front and the card back. But I'm noticing this piece here in the middle, you really want a super... use some of your best cardstock there. Whatever is thicker, the higher weight. You want to use really good cardstock for this. And you want to, I just use a tape adhesive, and I can tell it's coming apart a little bit. So I will recommend that you use like a score tape or a glue, something different, something I don't have, but I tried to put it together with just the adhesive rolling on. And it starts off good, but then over time it will start to you can see it kind of peels apart. So it's kind of cold here. So maybe the glue's not attaching, the adhesive glue is not attaching real good. But that is a little tip. If you're going to make one of these boxes, use a real strong adhesive, a glue, something you feel comfortable with that will really hold it together. And of course, if you give it time to dry, it's going to work a little bit better. I just did this morning. But it's also something I noticed when we would use these type of cards in our travel booth, that eventually they would start to give away at these points here where they adhere. So you're going to want to really make sure they're attached really well. So we'll work on that. And let's see what else is in the news. Okay, yesterday, if you are a Fold It Club member, your Fold It Club went out yesterday. It got in the mail. We got them all mailed, and they should be on their way to you. So that's something exciting to look forward to. I have, if you're not aware or if you haven't seen the video, this month's Fold It this is the postcard you get. It has some idea cards on there. It's called the Birthday Dog Fold It Club. You're going to get that, and it has a couple ideas on it. And in this shipment, You get your birthday stencils. There's 2 different stencils. There's a candle, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Candle, birthday candle stencil. I know there's a second one in there, but I'm not sure what it was. I had to open it one time and I'd seen, but I don't recall now. Then you get your birthday dog fold it. There's lots of different card ideas I've already seen on the website and in our video using this, so you'll want to see those card samples. And then I won't show you exactly what it is, but if you are in the club, you're going to get a little free extra gift from Stephanie. So something to look forward to, a little surprise there. And that is in the mail to Fold It Club members. That would be exciting. Fold Its are one that you can use the box. There are the box card die on. So we're going to take a look at that today. It will work, this box. The box it die will work for most of the Fold Its. All right. And let's see what else. If you are in the Howdy Western class, that is tonight. So don't miss it. You should have already received a link, or you will be receiving a link, one of the two. That will be sent out to you. It's only for those of you who have purchased the class, so that will be fun. Excuse me. That will start at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The studio is still kind of coming together. Sunday we decided we would move a few things around, and I had forgot about the class, and Stephanie sent me an email. We call it the studio office where all the cameras and all the equipment is. Stephanie said, hey, don't forget we have a class tomorrow night. And I go, oops. So when I got home, I had to move everything from one side of the room to the other and start getting cameras set up and all that things. And it went pretty smooth, but it took a lot of time. And when you have 100 wires, basically, it's pretty close to 100 wires, and you have to unplug them all and disconnect them all from all the computers and move it gently and safely from one side of the room to the other. I did all that. It was getting so late, I didn't even press the button to see if it would actually work. So I know there's no loose wires, and I think I figured out everywhere where they're supposed to get plugged in. So today when I get home, I'll try to get out of here a little bit earlier and get home, and I will check on all the cameras and the audio, and hopefully everything comes off without a hitch. We'll see. So if you want something to pray about, that would be something to pray about. Pray for me that all of this stuff's going to work, because I'm just not 100% sure. Give me 1 second. Okay, a little interruption there. Sorry about that. Nobody knows. I don't think anybody around here knows that I'm actually doing this video, but you who are watching and me. So there's things that happen here around the warehouse that I have to kind of take care of to keep things running. Yesterday we had a customer stop by the store. She thought we were open. And so it was Becky. She's from Northern California. So she brought her and her friend stopped by, and well, the store was still in pretty good shape. So I opened up the doors for these two and let them in, and they had a fun time shopping, and we got to chat for a little bit. So that was nice to meet them. And let's see what else. Yeah, so the store used to always be super disorganized, but since we're kind of keeping it open for once a month, it keeps me in the habit of trying to keep things clean and a little bit. Yeah, Debbie saying hot glue might work for that. It could, Debbie. I'm not a hot glue person. I just don't know it. I understand that exists, but I've never used it. But it might work really good for that. If you have the class tonight, yes, there will be a replay. If you can't watch live, it gets taped. And for some of you, maybe you've done the homework ahead of time, you can follow along and try to keep up and make cards right along with Stephanie. If you want, you can just watch and then finish your cards at another time, because you get to watch the replay over and over as many times as you like, which is kind of fun. And what else? So that will be tonight. Trying to think what else we have going on here. Oh, at the end of today, if you want to look ahead, we will be again in Matthew chapter 6. If you have a Bible or you have a Bible app, we're going to look at verse 12 specifically. So we'll finish up with that. At the very end, after that, I'll have a question for you. And it's kind of spring related since we are into spring now. It'll be a question that you will answer, and you will put your answer in the comments below, not in the chat. So I need your response to go in the comments section. And if we get over 100 comments, we did the first time. If we can get over 100 comments, I'll give out a $20 Stamps of Life gift certificate. If we're under 100, we'll still give out a gift certificate. It'll be for $10, okay? So we'll have that question. I'll ask it at the very end, and I will post it also in the comment section, and you'll be able to answer that. That will be at the end. And what else? I did the Western, I did the Fold It Club. All right, I think we're ready to get started. Oh, my first question, just for fun, since we are in spring. This one you can answer in the chat. And I saw, hi Margie. Margie came by the store last week and saw us. It was nice to meet you, Margie, in person. And Gail, I did not see you, Gail, this week at the store. I was wondering where, or last week at the store, I was wondering where you were, but I figured you probably had to work, right? You can't get out of work every time there's a store day, I don't imagine. Okay, our question, this is just for fun, thinking about spring. Let's see. Which one will I ask? Okay, my question for our spring question, this one's just for fun. What is something you do in the spring that you don't do in the winter? What is something you do in the spring that you don't do in the winter? So we're kind of a change of season, maybe a change of things you do. What is something that pops into your mind, or maybe a couple different things that you would do in the spring that you wouldn't do in the winter? Now, I was watching, I checked the weather, not weather reports, but I looked at the weather across the United States, and the coasts are pretty nice and mild, like low 60s or 70s mostly, but then I saw the Midwest was super cold, so I think it's still winter time for them, but a lot of us are getting spring. So what is something that you like to do in the spring that you don't usually do in the winter? All right, so that is our just for fun. I'll watch and see what kind of answers we get here, and then I will save my other question. My answer was I watch baseball, because there's no baseball in the winter, but come springtime, that's about time for baseball. So that is going to be something I enjoy doing. Probably most of you aren't into sports, but I like baseball. Let's see. And then, yep, I will save that. Okay, I've got it. All right. So let's see some of our answers. Yeah, Janet says she does go to baseball, and Gloria too. Vera says she opens up the windows. Yeah, get some of that fresh air in, right? When it's too cold, you can't have all that cold air. Sneeze a lot. Ellen, you must have allergies. Plant flowers. Yeah, do we have any gardeners out there? I have never been much of a gardener. If our plants survive in our house for a good amount of time, we're really happy, but we never plant anything and tried to grow it. But yeah, we have a couple big plants that are doing pretty well, and we just try to ignore them. Let's see, travel. Yep, travel is a good one. Frank and Sharon, travel is kind of crazy in the wintertime, but come spring, we're getting lots of flowers out here, and the hills are getting all green. And yeah, it's going to be a nice spring out here, I think. Let's see. Let me check over on Facebook, and then we'll get started. Enjoy my flowers blooming. Yep. Cynthia says, sit in the cockpit on our boat. All right. Lori, she likes baseball too. And her son is a pitcher at Michigan State. Awesome, Lori. Ruth says she's getting ready for summer. Ruth, before you get ready for summer, you got to enjoy spring first, right? Right. And Margie says she likes to hike. Okay, let's get started. Again, Take Two Tuesday. If you have these items, don't forget about them. Dig them out, use them. A lot of the times you can use your new items along with some of the new items that we release here at the Stamps of Life. We like to encourage you to do that, and it makes it more fun and more valuable when you get to break out some of those items that maybe you've forgotten about, but they would still be awesome. You just don't remember that you have them. So if any of these spark something in your mind, oh yeah, I have that, break it out and use it. If you're new, this will be maybe brand new items to you and you might really like them. Alrighty, let's see. Our first collection of stamps is called, put this over there, Words to Live By. And this has, it must be 5, 6, or 7 different little fun sentiments on there, and we'll check them out. Let me find it on the website here. I have most everything ready to go, but I forgot to find this on the website, so that will, Words to, see if I can type. No, I knew it. It's half, I'm half in the light here and half in the dark, so in my eye, I should be wearing glasses right now to be more efficient, but I'm kind of in denial, and I try to type in stuff in the dark without glasses. It's not really good, but I can manage. All right, Words to Live By. Let's see if we can get that to pop up here. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can find that over here real quick. Bear with me here 1 second. I'm trying to find our little title. If I can do that, maybe, maybe not. There we go. Yeah, that should be that one, right? Did that pop on? Nope, it didn't work. Let's see. Why is that not working? No, doesn't like that. Okay, Words to Live By. What do you get? You get 7 stamps on a 4x6 stamp sheet. These are made in the USA stamps. Super nice, high quality. Some of the sentiments: live with joy, only God can fulfill, just and pray, you are, and then I think you are loved, and then I am loved. You can combine those, so you get 7 different stamps on there. Let's look at our samples here on the website. We have a few nice ones. This was, oh, I lost my, what did I do with my paper? There it is. This was originally released in July of 2020. So it has a lot of nice, encouraging kind of sentiments there. Brighten somebody's day. Let's see what else is on there. We can scroll through these. And I have a couple samples here to show you in person. We'll take a look at those as well. There's a slimline, yeah, slimline. And some nice stencils used on some of these cards. And Stephanie's got a video too. We won't watch that. And this is on the retiring soon list, it says. So if you want this one, don't wait too long. I think we still have a good supply of them, but this is one that will be going away at some point. All right, let's grab these samples. And now I will turn that off and see if that pops. Nope. Oh, I know what I need to do. Switch over to me here. There I am. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out all my cameras and all that fun stuff. There, I got it. Okay. Let's look at these fun samples I have. You might have seen these. They might be the ones that we saw on the website, but they look a little bit more exciting when we get to look at them in person. Well, I guess not in person, but actually on the video screen rather than on the computer screen. Okay, and I got my mic is over here, my extra mic, when we go over to check that out. Okay, here we go. Camera 2, and switch over. There we go. So here we have the Only God Can Fulfill, and this is just on a standard A2 card size die base there. This is a nice colorful one. Live with Joy. This is also A2 size, but it's some type of scallop. So if you were to search scallop in A2, that would definitely come up on our website. I'm not sure, maybe you guys know, is that like a watercolor effect that has been used? I'm not familiar with how they get that nice, pretty background like that, but I see that on several of the cards. Nobody's giving me a hint on any of these. Live with joy. Just adding a couple little epoxy dots there, or like you saw, this one had just a little bit something extra ribbon. Epoxy dots makes a big difference. What is this one? Only God can fulfill. And I think that's along with the stamps that you see on there are flower to build. We have several different stamps that go with that one, flower to build. This one says you are loved, and the dragonfly, I think, is from our Dragonfly A2 card-based die set. Here's a little tag. Is there just one? Yep. Little bookmark. That's kind of fun one. Something that somebody can use and they'll remember you. So only God can fulfill. We've got live with joy. And I'm not sure, does it say? Let's see, this has our wedding circle stencil. If you're wondering, the stencil that was used on that wedding circle. And our last one, looks like some layers of maybe a scallop rectangle set and some different pattern papers, live with joy. All right, so some fun ones there. Okay, so that is our, I won't stamp on that one today since we're going to spend a little more time working on the box it. Let me put this away. What? Now I lost my bucket. What did I do with that thing? Oh, back there. And let's see, do we have any comments on that? Oh, let's see, who else? Anybody? Hi, Beth. Ruth, you get the pool ready? Yeah. Prepare for summer, yeah. Summer will be here soon, but let's enjoy spring while we've got it, right? Hopefully we'll have a nice, it looks like watercolor. Mitzi said, that's what I thought, watercolor. But I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to tell you that's what it is if I don't know. Some great samples. Those were all from our design team. Then our next item we're going to look at is first, before we look at the item we're going to make the box with, I want you to know there are a couple different sizes. This is the small box it. This came out, I think, about 2 years ago. And then we have now a medium. That came out about a year ago. And then this one I will be using today is the large box it die. So it kind of gives you a variety of sizes. I think the smallest one would work really good with like the dies you get with your club sets. The dies that are kind of with the 4x6. How would I explain it? The dies, you know, the dies that come in your club shipment. So this will work with smaller dies. Whereas this larger one will work with like folded type dies. And these are all kind of adjustable. You can get these to fit if you want to trim them down, or you want them to be a little bit more bowl shaped, or if you want them to really stand up and be more box shaped. You have lots of different options with these. So I want you to know there are different sizes. I usually work with this one because it does fit all of the foldeds. All right. So with our folded today, to make the box card, we're going to use, let me see if I can switch that again. I have a butterfly folded. Where are we there? I think I lost my little name tag. Oh well, doesn't matter who I am, but let's see, butterfly. I can put that on there. Okay, butterfly folded. It is from May of 2020, originally released. Again, you may have this. I only have, oh, there they are. I thought I only had a couple samples, but then I found the rest of them. So I have those. Let me get the die out here. This is the Butterfly A2. It makes an A2 size folded card. And we'll pull this up on the website. I also have, let's see, before we take a peek at the website, I just want to do this. some interesting facts about butterflies in case you didn't know, and things I didn't know, so I thought, hey, let's have some fun and share something, right? This is not our good news segment, but it's always fun to learn something new. This is some information about butterflies. Butterflies' wings are transparent, so apparently you can see through them. It says, well, how could that be? It says that they have thousands of tiny scales, and the scales reflect the light, and that creates the different colors. So it's kind of like their skeleton is in those wings. It's like an outside skeleton. It's called an exoskeleton. I don't know that. Butterflies taste with their feet. Yummy. That is weird. I don't know why they taste with their feet, but it says butterflies have taste receptors on their feet. That would be weird, right? And then butterflies live on an all liquid diet. That's interesting. I don't know what they eat, but I wouldn't have thought it was all liquid. Butterflies can't fly if they're cold. It says that they have to be, if the air temperature falls below 55 degrees, the butterflies cannot fly. They prefer 82 to 100 degrees for flying. And I have seen, it seems like we notice more butterflies, right, when it's warmer, and then when it's cooler, we don't see butterflies. Butterflies often just live for a few weeks, so a short lifespan. And butterflies are nearsighted but can see color. Now, when they tell us things like that, I want to know, how can they figure out what a butterfly can see, right? You can't ask the butterfly, does this look like black and white to you, or does this look like color? I don't know how they get this information, but butterflies can see colors, which is great. So they can look at their own wings and be amazed, or see their buddy's wings and go, wow, that's a lot of nice colors you have there. So if that's what they say, I guess it must be true. But you know what? We probably shouldn't believe everything we hear on the internet, but this looks pretty legit. And I think if I went to a couple of different websites, I probably would find, they probably all just copy and paste the information from each other. But anyhow, butterflies can see color. They don't live very long. They like it to be warm. All pretty much makes sense, okay? Oh, I think there's like something like 100, I'm just going to make up a number, 100,000 different varieties of butterflies. And they say the only place you can't find them is in Antarctica. So way down in the south, where it's super cold. Who would want to live there? And so butterflies are too smart for that, I guess, right? They are not going to live there either. So let's take a look now. We'll go over to the website, see what we have here. Well, I'll type in, if you want to find this for yourself, you just type in butterfly. It's most likely going to be one of the very first items that pop up. We have a couple smaller stamp sets. I'll show you what I see here, so you can take a look. And we'll go ahead and go on there. Great. Okay, so if you like some of the regular size, if you're into butterflies, we have a butterfly stamp set, and there's butterfly triplets. The butterfly dies were a club set a few years back, and there are some stamp sets that go along with that. And we have the butterfly to stamp. Shows only 14 left, but that one will be getting restocked. It's not on the retirement list. Solids for butterfly, sayings for butterfly, lots of different butterfly stuff, but the one we're looking at is right here, the A2. I do have this is the one. It has kind of the rounded corners on the wings. I'm going to put my samples over here so I don't lose them, and then let's take a look at the samples we have here on the website. Whoop. There we go. Some of the time I hit the images and they just will not pop open. So let's take a look at these card samples from our design team. Lots of nice ideas. Whenever you want ideas, if you have a product or an item, I always recommend just typing the name of the item on our website and find it, and then you're going to find these card samples. And probably about 99% of the time, Stephanie has a video that will go with it. So that will often show you more ideas. And a lot of the time she has demos in those, especially if it's a Crafting Corner episode. So that's one way you can get some ideas. And there is a video, and we won't watch that. We're going to go back. Okay. And then I will show you the samples that I have with me, and we will try to make one of these into a box card. Okay. Back over to me. All right, so I got a handful of samples, and we're going to look at those over here. Here we go. And I see a lot of these are the first ones I see. There's not a lot of inking, but a lot of pattern paper and a lot of dies. And there is some stamping, but they are fun to make. This is also an example of your fold can be on the side here, or if you want, it could be on the top. It just depends how you want your folded card to be. So you have a couple different options there. This is a pretty one with, it's got that, and this one here is on the side, a side opening card. And it's got our rainbow to stamp, I believe there, or dies probably were used to that. It's lots of little embellishments on that. Special friend, here's one that's opening on the top. So you see how now we're at the top opening. So you have the different options with your folded club, or not folded club, but your folded dies. Here they've just taken the folded of the and made it into a card front. A couple more. This is has our butterfly along with a stamp from B. I believe that's B for Me stamp set. And our last one, a little bit of shading on there, and just lots of solid colors and very pretty. So some great ideas for you. Now let's see what we can do with this die set. And I'm going to use the boxed die. Actually, I had planned to use the large box it, but I think I'm going to go ahead and switch, because when I practiced earlier, I used the large box it, but I'm going to try with the medium one here. I think this will work a little bit better with the this size of fold it, because let's see, because now the boxes, again, if you might have some of these from the past, they started out in 2019 with the regular size. This is the medium. This is probably our most recent one, but this is a little more narrow down here at the base. And if our box is too large, I don't think it's going to fit on there. So that's why I'm going to try this medium. And let me look at again, at the bunny here. Make sure that's all together. So the bunny has a larger base when you compare the two. And that's why I was able to use the large size. See if you can see that. The large size box it with the bunny, because you can see how much space there is down here, where with the butterfly, it's much more narrower. I think the small one would be too small, and I think the medium one might be just right. So we're going to give that a try. I'm going to move over to the die table. If I have my butterfly folded, where'd that go? Oh, shucks. I thought I was doing better getting oh, here it is right in front of me. I can do better with my organization. I thought I had it each time it gets a little bit better. I'm not losing as much stuff as I did before. But a big package like this, you shouldn't really lose it, right? Okay, I'm going to break that die out. And we're not really worried about making a folded. We just want the outside right now of the folded card. So we're going to, this is what the dies look like. And I'm just going to take that top outside one, which is kind of like the shadow, but this will also make the base of the folded. We're not going to make a folded though this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through twice and just use the basically the shadow, the main die here of the folded, and we're going to attach that to the box die. So I'm going to cut this twice, and then I'll run through and make the box die, and we'll try to put it all together and see how it comes out. Let me move over to the die table here, okay? We'll switch mics. I hope you can hear me. I think you can. Great. All right, let's move over to this table, and we're going to work with our butterfly, fold it, and I'll go ahead and get out, again, this is the medium size, excuse me, the medium size box die. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to either call it a box card or a box, but it's actually box it. Medium box it die. Get that out of there. These always get really packaged in there really good. They won't move around, so. And we'll take that off the backing card. And there we go. I've got that die. And I've got some, so we can differentiate between the colors. I'm going to use the red for the butterfly. And then for the box it part, I'm going to use a licorice. I believe this is, I can't really tell with my coloring in here, but I think this is a cranberry. It could be strawberry. We're going to run this one through twice and get our butterfly ready to go. That's looking all right. Maybe I can add a little more light here. Give me 1 second. It looks a little bit dark. This camera allows me to add a little bit more light to the work area, so I want to give that a try. That brightens up things a little bit, and that's good. All right, I've got my cutting plate on the bottom. If you're new to die cutting, it's really easy once you get the hang of it. I can give you a few tips. You want everything here to be nice and straight, but it's best if your die is just a little bit slanted. And what happens is we're trying to avoid speed bumps. If you have the die or just straight across here, you're more likely to get little bumps in the machine, and you might not get the precision cuts that you want. But most of the time that still works out, but it also just avoids that skipping and just gives us a little bit better die cutting results if you have your die tilted at just a slight angle. One thing I'm starting to notice are that my cutting pads are starting to bow. So I'm going to have to start paying attention, and you just flip them over. So the next time we run it through, I'm going to flip these over. So we'll go through our first time. I have lots of cardstock here to work with, so I'm not worried about using washi tape to keep it in place or anything like that. But that is one option you have. So you heard that little bit of clicking. Those are the speed bumps that we're trying to avoid. But I still did get some on that die, so I'm kind of surprised. But there's our first one. Easy, right? And we need another one. If we're going to make a box, we want to have one of these butterflies on each side. Let's go ahead and flip our cutting pads over, at least that bottom one. And I will add that to that, get our top plate on there. It looks like everything's straight. I can feel how much it's bowed now that you can see there. I'm not sure if you can notice, but they're really, this one on top is really bubbling, starting to bubble. So I'm going to, for the next probably 20 or 30 cuts, when I'm doing die cutting, I will probably just keep it like this to balance it out a little bit. Looks like everything's straight. And then we'll run that through there. And I like to go through twice with most of my die cutting. You don't have to. Ooh, getting a little squeak in there, so something's rubbing. And when you run it through twice, it seems like it just always is perfect. Every once in a while, when you just do it one time through, you'll get something odd. So here's our two edges for the folded that we're going, or not, the box we're going to make. I'm done with that. I'm going to switch over to find my licorice cardstock here over there. And we're going to make the box for this little card that we're making. And again, I could go like here, but hoping to avoid speed bumps, so I don't really want to go like that, and I don't want to do this. So again, the best option, and this is to help prevent the skipping in the machine, is to just do that slight angle. I hope there are some new friends out there watching today. I know I have a lot of you guys who watch every week, so I appreciate that so much. It's always fun to have somebody new. So if you are new, make sure you jump in the chat and let us know you're here. You can say your name or where you're from or any of that fun stuff. My name is Ken. I'm one of the owners here at the Stamps of Life. And along with my wife, Stephanie, we've been in business since, let's move that away, 2009. Time is going by so fast. Even when I think about this year, it's like, seems like it was just Christmas in January 1st. And now, well, let me make sure I got that all the way. I'm just going to run it all the way through this time. Seems like the year just started and we're almost 3 months through. It's crazy how fast the time goes. But we are having lots of fun here at the Stamps of Life. If you are new to us, I have this episode once a week on Tuesdays. I come in and craft a little and show you some items from the Stamps of Life that are a few years old. Most of them have been. So we call this Take Two Tuesday. It gives us a second chance to take a look at some of these items. There is my boxed die. And I'm going to fold all these little guys in just to kind of give me a bearing of where my card is going to go. And you can see it's flexible and you would bend these in. You've got to get, this is where you want to get your, as someone had mentioned, you could do maybe hot glue, some super strong glue, maybe that dries fast. I'm going to use the adhesive, so it will look okay when I first make it, but in the long run, I know it's not going to hold together. So to give you an idea, the shape of the box will be kind of like that, and that will attach to the back of my butterfly. You can trim it down if you want it to be a little bit shorter. You could, there's little score lines there. If you wanted, you could cut down at those points. If you want just like a little cup, or you want it to be a little bit wider, you can do that. It'd be more like a bowl shape. So there's lots of different options with this one. And let's go ahead and get some adhesive on that. Better keep some scratch paper on here so I don't get glue all over the platform. Before I miss my computer's trying to go to sleep on me, so make sure that stays awake. All right, so we've got that, and I'm going to add some adhesive to this, and we want to get a good amount on there. And that looks pretty good. That. All right, right on target here. I'm going to go ahead and take my butterfly, and I like to add the center piece there to kind of give me a good direction of where I'm going. And go ahead and press down on that real good. And then you just fold these in. Fold those in. Attach that on there. I like to fold these in a little bit here too, so there's not so much pressure where I have connected it. So far we have that. And then we just need to add our other side. And I can feel this cardstock has heavier weight. So that's going to give me advantage over the card that I had done in my practice run today. The weight of that cardstock was not as heavy. So that could be one of the reasons also that the adhesive was not going. So I line that up, press on all of these sides so it doesn't fall apart. While we're here on video, I'm going to give a couple extra seconds to push down and make sure this is really connected real well. There you go. Not too shabby, right? Not too difficult. You see that? So this is another example of how fold it's. Of course, you're going to want to decorate your fold it and make it look all nice and pretty. You can add the eyes and decorate and wings. You can use all the inside pieces. Add lots of embellishments, ribbon. Get yourself a couple little phrases on there. So these would be nice for like little treats, maybe on a table, or to give a little gift or a surprise, or maybe something to do for kids. Maybe you have some kids event, something you could do like that. So that's super duper easy. I'll show it to you over here on my other camera. Let me switch over. All right. So what do you guys think about that? Pretty easy, huh? I told you these easies are, these foldeds are so easy. And then you can see the box it as well. I really did notice a big change in the one I made earlier. Fix it up a little, at least so I can show you. The weight of the cardstock on this one is definitely not as strong, and I think that is playing a role in why it's not adhering as well. But it still does work. But I recommend, at least based on the card that we made here, that make sure you have a good weight for your cardstock, a nice thick cardstock. And most of the Stamps of Life cardstock you're going to be really happy with. Now you could use this. We've done a bunch of different foldits here in the past because, you know, foldits are easy and fun and quick, so they're easy for me to do on camera. We have this again is made from, I can't read it, but from one of our design team members, beautiful, the rubber duck, and she's coordinated the box to really match. That's a beautiful idea. Some of the other foldits we have that I think it would work with, I see a mushroom folded back there. The pool folded, it would work. What else do we have up there? I know we've done a bunny. The shamrock, that might be a challenging one. I'm not sure if it would work with the shamrock because it's just got that little stem down at the bottom. And then, let's see, what else? That donut, I think the donut folded it would work well with too. So if you have any foldits, if you have a nice wide base here at the bottom, it's going to work out really well. If you have a narrow base, obviously it's not going to have to. You have to have that space to be able to put that box card in it. So you can do it. I know you can. If I can do it, you guys can do it. If you have the box it, put that one to use. If you do not have one yet, you might want to get one. Again, for this size, I use the medium box it die. This one, the bunny has the larger base to work with. There's more space down here, so I use the regular size box it die. And then we also have a real little tiny one. So if you have the smaller size club set dies, it might work with some of these. You'll have to work with it. It might take a little practice, but you can trim it down. You can mix and match it with, just see what you can come up with. I think it will work with some. Excuse me. It might be a little more challenging with others. Again, it's going to depend like on how much space you have to work with at the base of your die. So super easy. Trying to think what else you could do with that. I know the treats, little like center pieces maybe on tables. If you're having a little party, you could add some snacks into them. Just make sure you use good adhesive, and I think you really like those, and you can make a bunch really fast. Not hard, okay? Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, Ruth, you don't have to be afraid. Give it a try. If you are jumping in late, you'll be able to watch this full episode right back at the beginning. Let's move that over there. The Take Two Tuesday episode, we started at 10. We're on every week for about an hour, and this will be recorded. You can go back and watch it. Again, at the end, we're going to get ready for our little good news segment. I don't have any fun videos this time, but we'll have our Bible time. If you have a Bible app, you want to open up to Matthew 6, or if you have a Bible with you, Matthew 6, and we'll look at verse 12, again, going through the Lord's Prayer. And I hope, again, that you guys are praying. And when I asked you guys, if you like, we have a lot going on at home today, getting ready for the class tonight. So if you pray for me, ask God to give me wisdom how to get all those wires connected and all the electronics working. I really, really would appreciate it, because I do believe that God hears our prayers and he answers them. And one of the important things about prayer is the Bible says that some of the things you want or some of the things you don't or you need, you don't get them because you don't ask. And God wants us to come to him and ask. So that's the number one important thing about prayer. If we don't ask or we don't seek God, we're probably going to miss out on a lot of blessings and a lot of good things he wants to do for us. So remember that. And every once in a while, I think there's some things that are maybe too small to ask God for help with, but don't ever think that way. He always wants to help us. How's that table you put together? Oh, Barbara, the table, I think is still a little bit wobbly and I would prefer to send it back. The problem is the table that we got a new little dining table. It's kind of wobbly, and it wasn't really, I'm not super mechanical, or I'm not really good at putting things together, but we gave it a try, and it's just, I don't know. If I could take it apart, I would send it back, but I think Stephanie wants to keep it. Anyhow, the tabletop is kind of wobbly, and it's because they gave us, in my opinion, they gave us junky screws, and there weren't holes that were in the correct spot to line everything up and really get it tightened. So now, since the screws were so junky, some of them are stripped out, there's no way that table is going to come apart. And my recommendation was to Stephanie that we take a saw and just chop it all up into pieces, throw it into the box, and send it back. But she said no, so I think she still wants to keep it. So as of right now, the table is staying. It doesn't have any chairs, but we have a wobbly table, and I guess eventually we will have a little dining area. If that ever comes together, I'll have to take a picture and show you. But we've had pretty good luck with stuff on Amazon, but this one just didn't work out. And again, I think between Stephanie and I, we did everything we could to make it work, and it's still not up to our standards. So beware if you shop on Amazon for furniture and you have to put it together yourself. You better have a lot of tools, and you better have somebody who's kind of strong, and you might have all that and it still might not work out. So, but that's just our recommendation. Most of the stuff on Amazon's been pretty good. Let's see what else. Yeah, I heard about that bridge crash today. That was terrible. Who could expect something like that to happen? So yeah, if you know anybody involved with that, or you can just pray generally for those people that, God will take care of them and comfort them if they lost somebody. So that was kind of sad news, but let's get on to our good news. Get out your Bible if you have it. And let's go to Matthew chapter 6. We'll finish up with this. Let's see. Oh, I was saying that this is all recorded. You can go back and watch it again if you like it, or share it. That would be awesome. Here at the very end again, don't let me forget. So if I start to leave without forgetting, I have to be mindful that I have a question for you. And when you answer the question, you're going to answer it in the comment section, not in the chat. Okay? So make sure that you answer in the comment section. I will choose a winner. I'll announce the winner next week. And the winner, if we're under 100 comments, which we were last time, which is fine, that winner will get a $10 Stamps of Life gift certificate for our website. If we go over 100 comments, I'll make it a $20. So something to shoot for. So if you have a friend who likes to craft, get them in there to add their comments. Like this video, share it. Again, all this helps. If you have any prayer requests, add it to our comment section. It's easier for me to find it there. Some of the time I can go back and look at the chat. I can't always, but I will try to keep up with that. But again, anytime you guys need prayer, let's all pray for each other and see what God will do in our lives. Okay, I will bring up our verse here. And there we are. So it says, I will read the full prayer that Jesus prayed. And again, his disciples, he's teaching his disciples about prayer. And you could find this also, I think, in Luke. I always forget. I think it's Luke 11, a very, very similar prayer. And today Jesus, oh gosh, I'm not finding my way around my Bible here. Hang on. I do know where Matthew is, but when I scroll, I keep missing it. All right, Matthew 6. I think I can put myself up there in the corner. No. There we go. No, that's not working. Okay, well, I'm here. And we are looking at verse, I think we're starting at around verse 9. It says, so Jesus said, pray then like this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, and your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And that's where the prayer ends, right at verse 13. So our verse that we're looking at is verse 12 we're focusing on, and it says, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. So we are asking, when we pray, where am I? Almost. Let's see. Where did Ken go here? Sorry, guys. Oh, nope. I'm not there. And I'm not there. Let's see. How can I fix this? I think I can. I'm skipping or missing one step here. No, not that one. There we are. Okay, so verse 12, we're asking God to forgive us. And the qualifications are, we're supposed to forgive other people as well. And the degree to which we forgive others is kind of the basis of our forgiveness. But we want to be totally forgiven. And the Bible does teach us that all of our sins can be forgiven if we just ask God for forgiveness, any sin. So no matter what we've done, no matter how we've goofed up, God will forgive us. Some of the time, the thing is just to go to him and acknowledge that we failed. And some of the time that's hard to do. But God wants to be very open with us, and he wants us to bring our sins, our failures to him. In this case, he's saying debts to him, and kind of confess them is the word. And we can just talk to God just normal. Hey, God, I messed up in this area. Please forgive me. We can ask God to help us to change things about our lives. We don't want to ask for forgiveness and then just go back and repeating the same failures or sins, mistakes again. We want to change, and that's something God's going to give us the power to. So when we see things that are in our life that are not quite right, that we know are not meeting God's standards, we can bring those things to him and ask him for forgiveness. It's important also that we understand that there's sin when we know we've done really bad. We've done something evil. We know it's not good. Then there's sin where we just miss out on maybe the best thing that God had for us. We did something that was okay, but maybe there was something better. Or there's also, sin is kind of just missing the mark of God's best plan for us. And what can happen is some of the time we miss out on the good thing that God wanted to do in our lives. Maybe we chose an option, or maybe we kind of felt like we should have done something and we didn't do it. And that is sin. That is missing God's mark. So there's a lot of things, a lot of different ways that we fail. We come up short, but the great thing is God will restore us if we ask him to. It's coming back to being, again, just honest with God and recognizing that we come up short, we need God's help, and he will forgive us. Now, to expand on this a little bit, if you go down to verse 14, this is real important. So this is after the prayer, but Jesus says this, and I think this is important for us to notice. Jesus says, for if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So that's really interesting, because I always think of God's forgiveness as being just unconditional, that if we just ask God to forgive us, he says he will. But then I see this verse here, and it kind of challenges me. And though I don't think my works will ever make me right with God, we can't think that way. So it's not like I have to go out and do this or I'm not right with God. There's nothing we could ever do to make ourselves right with God. But Jesus is qualifying our forgiveness is based on if we're forgiving others. And I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of situation where it's hard to forgive somebody for something they've done to you. Maybe they've hurt you in some way, and maybe you're experiencing pain, and it's real, and it's not easy to forgive. It's not always easy to forgive. But for our own benefit, it is wise for us to forgive. Most of the time when we don't forgive, when we hold grudges or bitterness towards other people, it is really just hurting ourselves mostly, right? Wouldn't you say? A lot of the time, the people who have done the wrong thing or the bad thing, they've just moved on in life. They don't care. They don't understand how they've hurt you or the trouble they've brought to you or the pain that they've caused. But if we hold that unforgiveness inside, it can really grow stronger and stronger, right? They call it like bitterness, anger. The hostility can just well up. And so it's really not good for us. We want to learn to forgive and let things go as much as possible. And there are times that it's super hard to forgive. I mean, we just have to be honest, right? We have to ask God to give us the power to forgive. And it kind of leads me to this next story. And it is from, if you still have your Bible, you can go there, Matthew 18. Jesus is telling a parable. He calls it a parable, which is like a story that is not real, but Jesus often told stories to get people's attention. People love stories, and Jesus would often get their attention by doing this. If you go to Matthew chapter 18, we have a little story to read, a parable that Jesus told. And I think it's super important because it really connects to what we're talking about today. And it starts at verse 21. It's a bit of a reading, but it's good. So Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, he came up to Jesus and he said to him, "Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him?" Whoops, my app crashed. Come back. There we go. "So how many times should I forgive him?" Peter asked. "As many as 7 times? That seems pretty good, right, Peter?" But Jesus said to him, "I did not say to you 7 times, but 77 times." Now, do you think Jesus really means 77 times? No. I think the point is Jesus doesn't want us keeping track of how many times we forgive people, right? He just wants us to forgive. But I think when he comes up with the 77 times, he's all, just don't count how many times you forgive somebody. Just do it. So he's telling Peter, hey, you got to do way above 7, Peter. 7 seemed good. Good try, Peter, but Jesus is aiming a little bit higher. So just forgive without counting, keeping track. And then he goes on to tell this, starting in verse 23, this parable. "Therefore, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his servants. When he began to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. And since he could not pay, his master ordered him to be sold with his wife and children and all that he had, and payment to be made." So I think to be sold like into slavery, they're going to have to work off the debt. "So the servant fell on his knees, imploring him, 'Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything.' And out of pity for him, the master of that servant released him and forgave him the debt. But when that same servant went out," so the guy who was forgiven, "he found one of his fellow servants who owed him just 100 denarii. And seizing him, he began to choke him, saying, 'Pay what you owe.' And so his fellow servant fell down and pleaded with him, 'Have patience with me, and I will pay you.' He refused and went and put him in prison until he should pay the debt. And when his fellow servants saw what had taken place, they were greatly distressed. And they went and reported to their master all that had taken place. Then his master summoned him and said to him, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. And should not you have had mercy on your fellow servant, as I had mercy on you?' And in his anger, the master delivered him to the jailers until he should pay all his debts. So also my heavenly Father will do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother from your heart." Wow, so that really, really grabs my attention, that there is some danger or some warning that if we don't forgive people, God's not going to forgive us. I want to be totally forgiven. I want to be totally right with God. And so our part is to find ways to say, hey, how am I going to forgive? How am I going to forgive people? How am I going to let things go? So this guy, he owed tons and tons to the master. His master forgave him. That's how we are with God, right? How much do we owe God? How much have we failed and come up short? And how much are we in debt to him? But God says we're forgiven. Everything is We're forgiven when we ask God for forgiveness. He lets it all go. He doesn't remember it. He doesn't bring it up. So when we encounter people who have maybe wronged us or mistreated us, who are we to like hold that against them? Like, what is that little thing that they did to us compared to what, how we have come up short against God? So that is really important, that if we want to be forgiven, we've got to forgive other people. It's good for us. Jesus said we should do it. He told this story that surely would have caught everybody's attention. And I hope that will be something that you will think about. I hope if you have a problem with forgiving people, that you would ask God to help you, soften your heart. And I have to do that myself. Some of the time, people upset me or I feel like I've been wronged, but I have to look at it in the overall aspect of how big life is and how small this issue is. And there's a lot of things we just got to let go. Number one, and hoping that we can restore a relationship. Maybe the relationship won't be the same with that person who has failed us and we had to forgive them. Might not be perhaps the way it was before. We can't make everything perfect, but it allows us to move on and not get stuck in the past. And as we also warned about, not get caught up in that cycle of being bitter or upset or holding things against people, or even worse, like wanting to try to get even with them. So, a warning from Jesus. I hope you like that, and maybe something you want to think about and go back and meditate on and just put into practice would be really key. Okay, we're finished. That's our good news segment this time. We have one more verse of that prayer coming up next week. We'll talk about that, and that is the part about temptation. We'll finish up the Lord's Prayer. I don't know what we'll do after that, but we'll figure out something good. We'll find some verses or some short stories or some other things that we can talk about. Some words from Jesus or from our Bible. So lots of different things we can check out on that. Now for the final, our question, if I can read my own writing, this will be the question that you will answer in the comment section. I think I typed it up. This will help me because sadly, I cannot read my own writing some of the time. That's terrible, right? Let's see what I can find here, because I think I added it to my email. Let's see, is it in there? No, not that one. Where did I put it, that question? Oh, darn. Okay, here we go. I found it. All right, this is our question. Since we are full on into spring, we have a spring question. Let me see if I can get that. I'm going to add this. You can answer in the comments as soon as this video ends. You will have the comment section. You can add your comments to it, and I will pick the winner. I'll announce the winner next week live here on Take Two Tuesday. And let's see. So here's the question. If suddenly spring was no longer a season and we went straight from winter to summer, what would you miss the most? So if we were going, there's no more spring, you're skipping straight from winter to summer, you could add a couple answers, but what is the one thing you think you would miss the most if there was no longer a spring? We're switching straight from the winter right into summer. So I want to see what you have to say about that. I haven't thought about it myself, but I do like springtime and I do like summer. And there's some fun things about winter too. You're going to post your answer in the comments section, and I will take a look at that for next week. We'll announce our winner. And I think that is a wrap. So thank you for joining me today. Let's see if we got anything extra going on again here. I know you guys are telling me send that stuff back to Amazon, right? So yeah, our Amazon table, I think we're stuck with it because Stephanie wants to try to keep it. But we'll let Stephanie's in charge of that. I did the best. She did the best we could. See any other comments on Facebook? I want you all to have a great day. I hope you're all feeling blessed. Everybody's healthy and feeling good. If you're in a warm area where it's starting to get spring, get out and enjoy a nice day, or get out with some people and some friends and get some conversations going. I think that's really important too, that we just be around people and enjoy life. We're really blessed here in the United States, right? And I think we live in the best place in the whole world. And we can be thankful for that, enjoy it the most we can. All right, I am going to go ahead and in this stream, answer the question below. I'll get that posted in the comments. The video will be up again for those of you who maybe jumped in late. You'll be able to go and watch all the way from the beginning. And we had a good time, fun time. You'll see how to make the box card dice there. And yeah, that's it. All right. Have a great day. I will see you next week. Well, actually, some of you I will see tonight. I don't want to forget about that. Tonight we have our class, so I will see you there. And then some of you, make sure you join us. If you don't normally do it, join us on Thursday night for Stephanie's Crafting Corner, our room, our little office. I know I do have the overhead camera working, so we'll get a little bit better angle going there. And we should have a fun time on Thursday night. All right. God bless all of you. I thank you so much for hanging out with me, and have a wonderful day. And I am going to try, let's see, I'm going to try to say, does that work? No, that's not here. See, I haven't got my closeout section quite down yet. So let's see. I'm going to move that over there. Okay, there it is. Oh, I'm bye already. Bye. I will see you next week. All right. Or Thursday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Stephanie's Crafting Corner. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.